All right, if we could have your attention, we're going to go ahead and open the meeting tonight. Chairman Graham is not here tonight, so in his absence, we'll go ahead and get started. Commissioner Thomas, would you lead us in prayer?
Let's pray. If you would, just bow your head in a moment for silence, for Mayor Graham and the loss in his family. Our most gracious and kind Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight. Father, we just ask for your forgiveness. And we just ask that you go with us and guide us and direct us in all the decisions that we make. Father, we lift up the ones that's lost loved ones. Father, there's many. We just ask that you lay your hand upon them. Let them feel the comfort that comes from you. And Father, I just want to ask that you bless the very ones that protect our country, Father, on foreign seas and at home. Lay a hedge of protection all around each and every one of them. And Father, as we go into this meeting tonight, I just ask that you lead us and guide us and direct us in every decision. And may all the glory go to you. For it's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we'll recognize Sheriff Austin Swing.
Hear ye. The Bedford County Board of Commissioners are now in session. The Honorable Commissioner Bill Farrell is presiding.
Right. Let's go ahead and take a roll call. Commissioner Anderson?
Here.
Commissioner Brothers?
Here.
Commissioner Brown? Commissioner Castleman? Here. Commissioner Epperson? Commissioner Fair?
Here.
Commissioner Ferris? Here. Commissioner Fox? Commissioner Gallagher?
Here.
Commissioner Pinson?
Here.
Commissioner Jason Sanders?
Here.
Commissioner Julie Sanders?
Here.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney? Commissioner Adam Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Mark Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Vick?
Here.
Commissioner Yockey? 15 present, 3 absent. At this time, our first order of business will be to elect a temporary chairman pro tem for this meeting.
Madam Chairman, or Clerk, I would like to nominate Bill Farrell to serve in this.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll turn the meeting over to Commissioner Fair.
Okay, the first order of business is approval of the commission meeting minutes from the December 14th, 2021, placed on the agenda without a recommendation by the Rules and Legislative Committee.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The second item is election of notaries for February 2022, placed on the agenda by the Rules and Legislative Committee.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? There's no presentations, no resolutions. Additional items, we have confirmed the standing committees. We did have a request this year, which is rarely happens, but Commissioner Sanders, Jason Sanders, requested a committee change with Commissioner Bill Anderson. I think, well, Commissioner Sanders serves on the rules, and I think Bill Anderson's on the law enforcement. So we need to, I guess that's up because they've requested it already. We need to vote on that. I guess we need a motion and a second, and then we'll vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, the switch is confirmed. Chairmanships, they are normally done within the standing committees next week. So each chairman will open that up and they'll elect them within the standing committees. The next item is bridge naming request in memory of Jimmy Patterson that was in the roads for 2 or 3 months. It was recommended by Jason Sanders and Janice Brothers from the 3rd District. It's a request to name a bridge in a memory of Commissioner Jimmy Patterson.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, is there any question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? In law enforcement, there's no items on the agenda. Courthouse and property. There's approval of a letter from the city of Shelbyville requesting $100,000 to assist with the completion of the lights around the square. I think that was a sidewalk lights project. It did go through courthouse and property, so we need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, yes.
Robert, did we get all the finances worked out on that? And I don't need no full detail, just as long as we've got that.
No, the idea is the sale of the Harris Gym, the old Harris Gym. When we get that money, we're going to use half of it to do this. We're supposed to get $200,000. We have not closed on it, but we're going to have to do an amendment through finance, and we'll have that on the next finance meeting.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so certainly there'll be no tax increase to pay for this. Okay, have we voted? We ready to vote? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. And the next item is under the Financial Management Committee. The Bedford County Schools had a surplus of technology equipment. Is there a motion to approve the sale?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Commissioner Fair, it's not about that.
Yes.
Back to the other one a second ago, since it was spending money, do we not have to have we all have to vote, or was it, that's a, Mr. Bobo
You're saying a
question.
roll call since it's money.
I'm just wondering if it wasn't a roll call vote that we need to take because we're spending money, is what I'm saying. But that'd be a question for Mr. Bobo.
And it's not budgeted, it's,
No, it's not. Okay, we will have a roll call vote on that since there's money involved.
We'll go back to that.
Yes, if you don't mind.
Okay, we're having a roll call vote on the approval of the letter from City of Shelbyville. Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Brothers,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleman, Commissioner Fair, Commissioner Ferris, Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Gallagher,
Yes.
Commissioner Pinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jason Sanders,
Yes.
Commissioner Julie Sanders,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
yes.
Commissioner Vick,
Yes.
Commissioner Yaki.
Yes.
Does anyone wish to change your vote? 15 ayes, 0 noes.
Back to the prior item, surplus from the Bedford County Schools, technology equipment that they need to sell. Has there been a motion or a second, or?
Yes.
Okay, we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The next item on our Financial Management Committee is approval of the contract for BIS LLC. I think this came out of the Bedford County Planning and Zoning Committee. Somebody want to bring us up to date on that, or ready to vote on it? Is there any questions?
We've all approved it. They did a nice job, both from Mark Clinton and Shannon, so it's in good order.
Okay, good. Is any of the commissioners have any questions? Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, is there a motion? Did we get a motion on that? Yeah, and do we need a roll call on that? I wouldn't think so.
What item
would
are we on? Did we vote on 10? The approval of contract with BIS? Is that what we're talking about now? Okay. I'll make the motion to approve that contract.
Yes, is there a second?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Okay, is there any other questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, we straight through here. Okay. Next is the quarterly reports. The clerk and master's not here, so he said he'd try to make the next quarterly report. The next one is the circuit court clerk and driving school directors, Murray. I think she might be sick, Michelle Murray. I believe she's sick, so we'll get an update on that. But she does have a report in there, so if you need to check it and have any questions, you can call her. The third one is the county clerk.
Okay, if you look at that one-page report there, this is year-to-date activity from July 1st of 2021 to December 31st of 2021. You can see there number of transactions so far year-to-date, 35,028, 2.9 million total receipts. Revenue for Bedford County, if you look down there at the bottom, $369,722 that were collected stay in Bedford County. Of particular note might be the hotel motel amount there, $15,777, which is new, and then the archive fees, $57,593, which is tracking exactly or pretty close to where we had expected. Total transactions are up 1% over last year, but revenue for Bedford County is up 5% over last year. What's the hot topic right now is new metal. We started on January 4th distributing the new Tennessee license plates. You might have seen them already. They look really nice. We've had a lot of people calling and wanting, I want mine right now. But we can't do that because just the magnitude of printing and producing that many plates has really put a burden on the state. So when your tag comes up for renewal, if you have a regular passenger plate, you will get a new license plate at that time. And I'm sorry we can't go ahead and hand one out to everybody, but we just don't have enough. So I just thought I'd bring that up because we have had a lot of questions around that. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them for you.
Hey, Donna.
I do have one.
I just had a question. You don't by chance know, and you may not know tonight, but of the hotel motel tax, how much of that is like Airbnbs? Because I know that was a new thing that was added.
I don't have that number, but I can. It's certainly very easy to get. I think it's probably going to be about half, just from the numbers that are going through my head. But I can certainly break that down in the future if y'all would like to see it that way.
I just think it's interesting because it's a new tax, that we've identified, and I think
Yes.
It'd be interesting to know.
Yes, and of course we collect from the local folks who do their own booking and so forth, but then the state remits us on any reservations or bookings that are done through Airbnb. The state collects that and then just remits that back to us. So it would be fairly easy for me to find a number for you.
Thank you.
Somebody else have a...
Mine was real quick, but I've had a lot of people talk to me and say that you're back open on Saturdays, and they're so happy that they can come up on Saturdays. How long have you been open on Saturdays? Is that the plan to stay, or?
We've always been open on Saturdays.
Okay, well,
now we closed a little bit during COVID.
Gotcha.
But no, we've not ever stopped.
Okay, good, because what I've heard is it's so nice to be able for people that work, and thank you so much. And I've heard nothing but positive, but the Saturday thing, I think, is a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, the next report is Directors of Schools, Dr. Tammy Garrett.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. A couple of updates. We did close on the land behind Morelli for the new elementary school. We also have a signed contract, Mr. Sanders, Miss Brothers, for the community wing, so we can get started on that. Also, we are starting up budget hearings for all of our principals and department heads. We have been named a Best for All district. That will be an award of $250,000. That is because we spent all of our ESSER money the way that the government wanted us to, so we were named that. Comes with more money. Also, we just completed our first ever elementary basketball regular season. It was very successful, and we had, for my Cascade folks and Thomas, those were our two winning teams. Cascade was first, Thomas was second, so you'll have some great basketball players coming up. We've enjoyed that. If you want to come out and see the tournament starts this Saturday at Thomas, and then the championships will be the 22nd at Shelbyville Central, so right here. So we look forward to that, and hopefully you can come out to see that. Also, Ms. Yaki has been going with us and helping us with Robert Daniel and also the mayor. We've been attending some sessions on the new state funding formula. There will be a new state funding formula for schools that will be introduced to the General Assembly, so we look forward to seeing what that will look like if that is passed. What we have been told, you will have 3 to 5 years before counties would have to change their amount put in. So we have not been told what the county portion would look like. What we have been told is if it is voted on by the General Assembly, then we would have a year to develop what the county formula and portion would look like. So we'll have some time to take a look at that, but that will be interesting. I encourage you to follow that. On the 14th will be our last day to submit what we think that should look like. So if you've not been able to do that, let me know and I can help you with that. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Chairman, one question.
Yes, Commissioner Vick.
Thank you, Superintendent Garrett, for the job you're doing. Well done, and we very much appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you.
One quick thing. As we're going forward in building this new school and the wing, we've got to take a look at some of our existing buildings for the deferred maintenance process. Has the board and have you been looking at that as part of your criteria for moving forward?
One of the things I've asked Daniel Kleindienst and Mr. Harwell, I gave them a project to tour every school that we had. And I wanted to know, as we are building, what should we do later on? What should our 1-year plan, 3-year plan, 5, 10-year plan look like? We will be presenting that at our work session with our board. Not this Monday, but the following Monday. So I think it's the 25th, if I'm thinking about my calendar correctly. We will have a work session and we will present that. We will have to really work through with the architect what the numbers associated with that will be, but I want to present that to the board so we have a plan going forward.
Do you anticipate that number, and this is for deferred maintenance, is what we're talking about, things that have not been done that need to be done to make things. Do you anticipate that number to be a small number, a medium number, a substantial number? Any kind of ideas at this point in time and early on?
I think it will be a reasonable number. I don't think that it's going to be small because we have had things that we put off. We have not got a lot of state money for capital projects, and so we are hoping that with the new funding formula that we can get some of that. But we don't expect it to be like something that could never be done. But we will have to take baby steps and get there the best way we can within our budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Any questions?
It's okay. Dr. Garrett, you're an athletic person. I know you are. We've talked several times. And I want to thank you for that elementary basketball because I think that's how we develop our future players. My question to you is once we're playing elementary basketball. I went to a game or two, a friend of mine's coaching, and I have coached youth in the past, and when they're that young, shooting on a 10-foot goal, you brought it up, so I wasn't going to bring it up, and I'm going to bring this up. It teaches bad habits.
You know I like to talk about basketball.
Well, but you brought it up, so I want to ask you this question. How hard would it be for the maintenance people to lower the goal to 9 foot to where we're not learning to shoot this way when they're that little? Is that even an option, or what are your thoughts on that, since you brought it up? But, I mean, it teaches some habits that I've seen girls especially have later in life when Coach Insel was here, where they're shooting this way because we had them on 10-foot goals that young.
I definitely will ask the question. I'm thinking about the goals at each of the schools. The problem that we have run into is not all of our schools have gyms with goals in it, which I promise you, You know I like athletics. Our new elementary school is going to have a gym that we can play basketball in. That is the requirement.
But if they're younger, my question, you
Yes.
can play basketball when you're younger. You're not used to 10
Right.
foot. If we're going to do elementary basketball, we might think about that 9-foot goal.
I will definitely do that. I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
think of Cascade, the way theirs are. I'll get with maintenance and make sure that we can get that
Because some of these
done.
games are like 9 to 6. They're 11 to 4. That's what
Yes.
I'm just saying, if you teach them the better habits, it's better to teach them good habits early. Thank you.
I will try to make sure that we do that for sure.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Dr. Garrett. Okay, the next quarter report is election register, Summer Leverett.
Evening, everyone. If you'll see my quarterly report there, it has all the new voter registration numbers, include the active, inactive, and what we've purged, and the new registrations we've had within the last 3 months. I just wanted to say a couple of things. The qualifying deadline for this May election for all the county offices, including county commission, all the 9 districts, is February the 17th at noon. Now, you can pick up any time between now and then, but it has to be turned in February 17th at noon. That is 30 days before it used to be turned in. It's now 60 days instead of 90. So that cuts you 30 days off. So I just wanted to remind everybody about that. That does include independent candidates for any of the offices that are on the county primary. Okay, so even if you're running in the August election, you'll qualify at the same time as you're running in the May election. Also, school board offices, I haven't had anybody pick up school board at all, and maybe the reason being is because they don't know that they have to pick up now. Because there was a new law that passed last year that they can now be put on the county primary. They can run under a primary instead of in the general. And the Republicans chose to put that on the county ballot. The Democrats did not. But with the Republicans choosing to do so, that made the deadlines for everybody the February the 17th at noon. Okay, so if you know anybody that's running for county school board seats, just tell them they need to come in and pick up and qualify now. Does anybody have any questions? Except for Brian. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next quarterly report is Highway Superintendent Mark Clanton.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to make this quick for you tonight, especially you, Commissioner Ferris. I'll try to make this as fast as I can. The Highway Department's completed over 8,000 citizen projects. We've been getting some calls and things about New Center Church Road. I just want to give you some information. New Center Church Road, we'll be doing our state aid paving in the spring of this year. So hopefully by mid-March, that road will be paved and put back in place good. I've also been working on the state industrial access road that the commission has approved on resolution 2 or 3 months ago. So we've been working on that right there, moving that forward. The Highway Department has applied for a Tdot corridor study grant for the northern end of the county with all the building and things going on with the industrial park and the activity that we've got in that northern section of the county. So we're putting in for a $120,000 grant that the Highway Department will pay the match for that part right there. We should know something hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months if we are awarded that grant. I've attached this quarterly report, a five-year paving plan, which is probably going to be more like a 8 or 9 year paving plan. The number's just a tick under $9 million, and that's only about a tenth of the roads that need to be worked on that we have on our road list. So it's going to be it's a long, drawn-out process, and it's very expensive to try to redo some of these roads. But we're going to start working on these in the spring, and hopefully get a lot of stuff took care of this year moving forward. I have signed a Tdot safety grant, safety improvement project grant for these roads. It's on here: Midland Road, Nashville Dirt Road, Hilltop, Old Flat Creek Road, Unionville Deason, Gant Road, Bethlehem Church. What we'll be doing there will be new striping from Tdot, guardrail replacement, and safety signage. That is all 100% through Tdot, no match from the Highway Department to do that. It's a $250,000 grant that we got awarded here for Bedford County. Our regular duties that we've been doing every day is pothole patching and things like that. Been working very tirelessly over the last 4 or 5 months with the HR director, Shannon Boyette, on updating our personnel policy for some new rules that changed over that we needed to update the personnel policy that you will have on your agenda here pretty shortly. The solid waste department, center tonnage is growing. Our tonnage is up about 25% than what it was last year at this time. Our new compactors at this commission, we are very thankful that y'all approved this in budget. The new compactors have been installed at Wartrace and Wheel. It has helped that operation out there tremendously. And the new one for Unionville, which will make 2 compactors there in Unionville, will be installed Thursday. So it should be in operation by this weekend on that part. We've also received our new 10 compactor boxes. It helped us through the Christmas holidays very much on that part. We've also applied for a insurance safety grant to try to put cameras at all the convenience centers for safety issues. We've been having a lot of break-ins at some of them, so we're trying to do that to try to get our centers took care of at that part. Also investigating a place for a future center somewhere in the southern end of the county, somewhere around Flat Creek or out on Fayetteville Highway. So we're looking at that. And that's my report. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure you've already thought about this, but one of the roads that's on the 5-year paving plan was Fairfield Pike, and so my first thought is Cascade School. And so, yes. Have you considered doing that part close to the school, like when school's not in session, or what's your plan on that?
We've got Tdot has already paved that intersection. I got them to do that. We met with them probably 3 months into my tenure as road superintendent. Finally got done this year, about 4 or 5 months ago. That's probably what we were trying to do, is try to use some state aid money and try to pave the entire thing from the city limits all the way out to the high school part right there at the intersection. So we should be trying to get that done, hopefully, in the next 2 years, hopefully. So that's one of my main ones that I want to try to put on the list and get it done.
Mr. Chairman. Mark, on that cost on that 5-year plan, are these locked in costs, or can that fluctuate?
That cost will fluctuate. We go to bid next year. We've been doing a renewal the last 2 or 3 years that I've been here, last 2 years since I've been here on the paving bid. So we will open bids next year. That price possibly will go up over the next 5 years. So that $9 million number could be closer to 11 or 12 by the time we can get this whole list done. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I got another question, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
I used to shoot on 9-foot goals because I coached against you too, so I remember that.
You knew this question was coming because I kind of forewarned you on it, but it's about cardboard.
Right.
So if the cardboard bins at the convenience centers are full, okay, and a lot of them have been, they're not, I don't know who empties them or whatever.
Yes.
Can you not put them in the compactor? That's one.
Yes.
Number 2, have we mandated that people have to recycle? Meaning that if you take cardboard and you don't want to do it, have we got a law that says you have to do it? Or can people, because if we're compacting mattresses and furniture that I've seen go, why not cardboard? Looks like it compacts pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Would it not be the option of the citizen? That's my questions, both of them.
Yes, it is the option of the citizen. There is not a mandate that every citizen in the county has to recycle. That is a personal choice for any residents. We encourage recycling, but it's not a requirement that you have to as a Bedford County resident. And on the cardboard part, I have addressed that issue today that you called me about. That will be fixed. If it happens again, then I will make sure that it doesn't happen again, hopefully. But that was it. That is correct. If the recycle bins are full, they can put it in the compactor with no issue whatsoever. And all of our tenants and all of our centers know that
But if it is not full and people just don't want to do it, can we make them do it? I mean, how does that work?
No,
Can they
sir.
not just put it in there anyway, if
Yes,
they
sir.
choose to do that?
Yes, if you choose to throw it in the compactor, you can put it in there.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Road Superintendent. Next report is Property Assessor, and I believe Rhonda Clinton's sick. Then the next on the agenda is the Register of Deeds, Johnny Reed.
Good evening. My report you have before you, this shows again how busy we are. Deeds recorded 439, quitclaim deeds 122, 42 new plats, 84 green belts, 65 notices of completion, trustees deeds 4. Total documents recorded for this quarter was 3,936. Revenue collected in our office was 758,800. I went back today and looked at a year ago, the same quarter, and we recorded 195 more documents this quarter than last year, and we've collected $75,000 more dollars this year than we did last year. And we're still booming, and people are just begging for new homes to come into Shelbyville. It's keeping everybody busy.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
Out of that $758,800, how much of that stayed in Bedford County and how much of that went to the state of Tennessee?
Well, I didn't break it down, but most of that goes to the state. We get to keep 2.4. That's what we've been fighting for, trying to get that
2.4% is what we get?
Right.
Okay.
But you still got about 50,000 that stays here in that for the quarter. One thing I want to add too is the property fraud alert. We do have that up and running now. John got us up and running on our website. If you go to the county website and scroll down to the Register of Deeds and then scroll down to the bottom of that on your left-hand side, you'll see property fraud alert. Once you bring that up, click on that item. There's a disclaimer to read, and you agree to that disclaimer. It immediately goes to a box. You put in your first name and your last name and your email, and you automatically are signed up just in a few seconds for fraud alert. If you sign your legal documents, John Reed, John H. Reed, John H. Reed Jr., you'd want to do that 3 times. If your name, even if it's just close, you're going to get an email that a transaction has went through our office. We've had several calls already that has had that happen, and it's just if it's, it could be REID, and it's still going to red flag me as a document has went through, and that way they can call and check to make sure that, you know, if you've done it, you know that you've recorded something. But if it comes up and you haven't, then you need to check in on it. You can call our office at any time. We'll walk you through it, how to sign you up, or you can even stop by the office and we'll get you signed up. So this is free to the citizens of Bedford County, and everything right now is turning toward fraud. Everybody's wanting to make an easy buck off people, and we're trying to protect our citizens. Any questions?
Thank you, Register of Deeds. The next one is on the agenda is Trustee Tanya Davis.
I'll make it short. We're going to throw a few numbers out there, but your first page will be just the financial balance sheet. It won't be like the trustees report you get on the year end. Our current property taxes is up over $1 million, about $1,021,000. Our prior taxes are down. We want them down. That means we're collecting more current, so that means more people are paying. So our LGIP, you have your report on the main account, and then the governor's grant, which is the CARES Act for the COVID. You'll have 2 pages of your report that's going to have your mixed drink. That is the 50-50 split, and you'll have an account analysis on the transactions for that. We'll move on to the sales tax allegation. And then following that will be your online out-of-state sales tax collection. We are still continuing to gather the data for the comparison. That's just showing us kind of where we've been and where we're going. On the third to last page, I want to point something out for the ones of you that really like to break down the sales tax. It's going to show in December like a minus 100%. That's only because of the type of calculation we have set up to gather this information. It does not actually show December, so once that amount goes in, that minus 100% will change. The next to last page of your report is your online internet sales tax collection. So the last page will be your archives, and that is allocated to the 101 account. And then I just want to briefly remind everyone of the tax relief. Right now, the income is $31,190. We have quite a few coming in, signing up. This year, paying out $143 on the elderly and the $860 on the veterans. So as I kind of reminded you, January 1st is how the tax statements are sent out, generated from the state file. So we are never ending looking for these homeowners. Right now our mail is very heavy. Dropbox is working well. Credit card payments are steadily climbing. So right now we're trying to find all these property owners so we can make sure they don't hit that delinquent come March 1st. February the 28th is the deadline. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Tanya, on the tax relief, as you well know, the city went up on their tax rate, and I've had a lot of my constituents contact me about their city property taxes. And is it too late for the ones that qualify based on age and the dollar amount to get a tax relief for this year's taxes, or?
No, sir, Commissioner.
I've just referred them to your office, so to
yes,
contact you. And
it's the first week of April is the deadline.
Okay.
So
that's
we still
good.
have some time. Matter of fact, with the senior citizens, we're talking in the February bulletin that comes out to get that out, and I will definitely set something up because we're trying to pull as many in because we do have a lot of elderly shut-ins right now. They're not getting out to the center. They're just not getting out there.
Exactly. Like I said, I've just referred them to your office. I told them, I said, I'm not an expert in that. I said, I do know Bedford County and Shelbyville offers that, but they would need to get in contact with you.
Yes, with our office, and we will exhaust every effort. We will take care of them.
And you do, and thank you.
Thank you.
Tanya,
yes, sir.
I'm going to reiterate what Commissioner Thomas said. I've had several calls the same way, and thank you for explaining that. But I want to thank you on behalf of all of us. And I know you all do a ton of work on this report, and it's just so thorough, and just thank you for what y'all, I mean, it's just really nice to have what you do. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate our commissioners. And, you know, it's a family working together. It's a team for the better of Bedford County that we all love.
Any other questions for the trustee? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last report is from the Shelbyville Bedford Partnership. I believe Shane Hooper is here.
Well, let me start by saying thank you to the Commission for the opportunity to address you guys this afternoon, this evening. I will use the opportunity to brief you on three things. We'll talk about a few items from the past year. We'll also talk about some future events, and then we'll close with our directions for 2022. The Shelbyville Bedford Partnership houses four items: our business retention and expansion efforts, and I'll go into more detail about that, new industry recruitment, retail recruitment, and workforce development. The Shelbyville Bedford Community Foundation focuses on community enhancement, quality of life, and quality of place, and education enhancement projects. And that's where we'll start with our education enhancement projects coming out of our Community Development Foundation. The foundation is working on projects to support our first responders right now. The project provides resources for emergency response on the Duck River. The resources include safety markings for the river and equipment for the firemen. The leadership of Fire Chief Mark Thomas, Assistant Chief Brian Cantrell, and Scott Johnson has been noteworthy. The foundation is fulfilling its mission on education by working with Bedford County Schools and Dr. Tammy Garrett on these projects to support teachers and students. The Hammer Works Inch by Inch, Teacher Grant Program, Feed the Children, Beautifying Bedford, Equine Education and Careers, Business and Community Resource Directory, and Robotics. Beth Davis's passion for seeing a better Bedford is unmatched. We appreciate all of her hard work and dedication, and she's here with us tonight, and I'd like for Beth to stand. Beth is in charge of our Community Foundation. And she does a great work trying to make our community a better place. Also, we have with us tonight Kelly North. I will have to give kudos to Kelly. She's been with me every step of the way for numerous business retention and expansion visits. We've visited our top 20 manufacturers with one exception and many others to go along on that list. Her work is crucial and to our economic and community development efforts. Our workforce development program that Kelly runs is bridging, the main focus is bridging communication between education and our employers. Continuous communication is what we strive for with Bedford County Schools, the Webb School, Tdot, Motlow, and MTSU. In August, for example, we held the Tenders and Tea event at the Tdot. That event was to bring manufacturers together to engage with Tdot and to see their facilities. It also gave local industries an opportunity to meet with Tdot staff. It gave us an opportunity to link our manufacturers with Tdot teachers. We had over 55 people in attendance for that event, and that was in August. In September, we had Partners in Education, which gives employers an opportunity to work with teachers on classroom participation. It also provides a list of manufacturers and business owners that are willing to speak to our children in classrooms, an opportunity to provide real-world work experience. In the month of October, we held the Workforce Development Summit. We had over 350 teachers in this very room. This event was designed to discuss employment details, employment needs with teachers. We had teachers on a panel from Bedford County K-12, Motlow, Tdot, MTSU, Tennessee Higher Education Commission, and we had a panel of elected officials with Pat Marsh and Mark White. We also had employers speaking to that group of teachers from Musgrave Pencil, Cooper Steel, the Nearest Green Distillery, and Morelli. The reason we had this event is we want to make sure that our teachers have firsthand knowledge of what our industries are looking for, so that as our students graduate, they have the benefit of knowing, of being taught exactly what they're going to need to know when it's time for them to get a job. In the month of October, we had the 8th grade career fair. We had over 750 8th graders meeting 20 plus employers. And this event was designed to introduce our 8th graders to career options right here in Bedford County. In the month of November, we had the Work Ethics of a Distinction program. This recognizes students with employable characteristics. Some of them are basic, like being places on time and having perfect attendance. This guarantees the children who graduate from that program, it guarantees them job interviews with participating employers. And we have about 200 students that participate in that. In December, it was a great month. We learned that from the governor's investment in vocational education, the GIVE grant, that there would be over $260,000 to build a medical simulation lab at Community High School. over $260,000 in grant money that Kelly and Dr. Garrett and others were able to come together in a competitive situation, put together a grant, and get $260,000 so that we can make sure that children that attend community high school will have an opportunity to work in a health lab with industry partners from Tdot, Vanderbilt, Bedford Hospital, community clinics of Shelbyville and Bedford County. Some of the upcoming events in our workforce development arena will be pre-employment skills workshop. That workshop will prepare high school seniors for job interviews. We'll also work in conjunction with or in collaboration with the American Job Center, Bedford County Ag Extension. We'll also have an upcoming event with a high school job fair for our graduating seniors. This means that local manufacturers will interview our own high school graduating seniors for possible employment. This provides a direct path for those seeking employment directly after graduation. We'll also host an industry roundtable. Industry roundtables, what those mean is that we will have specific meetings for leadership to talk about current issues that they face. For example, in January, the offering is to bring together our logistics companies to discuss truck driver recruitment shortages. And here's what that really means. I had an owner of a logistics company ask me what was going on at our level to help them find truck drivers. And I said, I don't know what the state or the regional workforce development board is doing, but I'll find out. When we called, they didn't really have a plan put together. So what we're going to do is, as you well know, we have a lot of logistics company here. We have Big G, we have Nationwide, we have others. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring them together, and then we are going to let them put a plan together that we can then present to the State Workforce Development Board so that we can find out what they can do to help us recruit drivers for our logistics companies right here in Bedford County. If we don't have answers at the state level, maybe these gentlemen and ladies that are on the ground here working in Bedford County can come up with a plan that we can present, and maybe we can get that adopted at the state level. We also plan to have upcoming our C-Suite event is something that I am looking forward to. We're going to have company CEOs and plant managers together in an informal setting. This is going to give them an opportunity to make personal introductions for networking opportunities, and more importantly, it will give our businesses an opportunity to give a description of what they offer and provide collaborations. Let me give you an example of why that's important. We had a company right here in Bedford getting ready to buy a significant amount of steel. They didn't even realize that we had Cooper Steel right here in Shelbyville. So those are the type of links that we're making company to make sure that we support our own, that we're doing everything to make sure that we are successful right here in Shelbyville and Bedford. And we also will have a small business development series, and these seminars are for our existing small businesses. This series will have courses in things like management skills, accounting basics, and marketing principles. One thing before we move on from workforce development and get more into the Shelbyville-Bedford partnership, I want to be very clear about something. Yes, it is important to bring new businesses to Shelbyville and Bedford, but it is also equally important to make sure that we take care of the ones that are already here. Those businesses and those ladies and gentlemen and those citizens of Bedford County are already vested in our community. They like our community. They're already here. They have capital investment, so we have to take care of them. And I'm going to say this later on, but I think it's worth repeating now and later. It is a known fact that if you do not work with your existing industry, you will lose about 10 to 15% of those existing industries if you don't take care of them. If you don't go out and meet with them and talk with them and show that you support them on an annual basis, you will lose about 10 to 15%. And if you go back and look at the history that has happened here in Bedford County, that has happened. We have lost jobs that were already here. We have lost companies that were already here. We have lost capital investment that was already here because we didn't go out and take care of those that are already here. So I'll move on from there, and let's next talk about the Shelbyville-Bedford partnership. This is the classic part of economic development. If you will, this is the sexy part. This is the interesting part that everybody wants to talk about. But our mission is at the Shelbyville-Bedford Partnership is to provide Shelbyville-Bedford with economic and community development for the benefit of our citizens. That's our mission, to provide Shelbyville and Bedford with economic and community development for the benefit of our citizens. And we will do that by maximizing relationships with our elected officials, partners, and stakeholders for economic and community development. We have a robust business retention and expansion program. A business retention and expansion program is exactly what it sounds like. It is working with our existing businesses to make sure that we retain them and encourage expansion right here in Bedford County. That program reaches out to existing businesses, those that are already here. It is crucial to maintain contact with and support those industries already in Shelbyville and Bedford. Counties and cities that do not maintain contact with existing industries lose about 10 to 15% of those industries, 10 to 15% of those industries' jobs each year. We have met with our top 20 manufacturers to build relationships with them and seek ways to provide local and state support. Let me give you an example. And these are the types of things that I see every day. And I could go on with examples like this that we've seen over the past year. We met with an existing business last month, and we brought the state of Tennessee to the table. This meeting was the first time this company had ever had a business retention and expansion meeting. When we brought the state of Tennessee to the table, it was also the first time that this part of this state entity had ever been in Bedford County. From that meeting, the preliminary estimates reflect about $500,000 in savings and incentives to that company. $500,000 is the estimate from that one meeting, from just bringing together entities that we know that can support our local industries. We bring the Shelbyville-Bedford Partnership, we bring value to our relationships with existing companies. Some of you have heard me talk about this before, but when I first got here, one of the first things we did was go out and try to figure out why it was that we had over 300 announcements over the past 10-year period in southern Middle Tennessee, and why we only had a record of one of those being in Shelbyville and Bedford. And quite frankly, nobody could tell me what the one was. So yes, there was an issue, there was a problem. So the first thing that we did was try to figure out what was going on in other communities, in other industrial parks, to try to figure out what we could do to be successful. For the first time in Bedford County's history, the property valuation program sponsored by the state was brought to Bedford County for the first time in Bedford County history. And we were only one of 4 counties that were awarded that program last year. We actually went and looked at over 600 acres during the course of one day to find out where our next industrial park would be, our current industrial park, what it needed to be successful, trying to make it competitive. And I'll have to say thank you, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it, because trying to walk 600 acres in one day is practically impossible. But the Bedford County Fire Department stepped up and made sure that we had a ride. It's that type of teamwork that is going to make us successful. That type of teamwork is essential to us getting to where we want to go. It is important for all of us to work together to make things happen in Bedford County. Also a first in last year, we had our first pad in our industrial park. Seems like a small thing, but it's the first time we ever had one in that industrial park. The pad is not that large, but at least when we have people who come to our industrial park now that want to know that we have the ability to have a new business here, at least we can show them the pad that we've got started. We can show that we're trying to make steps. We can show that we care. We can show that we're trying to do for ourselves instead of waiting on others to do for us. In last year, we also were able to implement a $100,000 site development grant, and that was completed, and we did some things to make our park more competitive. You will hear me consistently, continually talk about that. We have to become more competitive. We have to do the things in our industrial park, in our community, that it takes to be successful. The list is long, but I will say this. Over the past year, it has been a tremendous amount of support that came from you guys, from the city of Shelbyville, from the 231 North Business Park Board to help make our industrial park more competitive. I will go into some things that have happened recently. Today, we successfully added another phase of the SIA grant in the industrial park. And this is what Mr. Clanton was talking about earlier. We raised the project award from $4.6 million to $5.5 million. That adds another $1 million of investment to the county's infrastructure without any cost to the county. We added $1 million, $1 million of infrastructure to the county at no cost to the county because of the efforts of men like Mark Clanton working together to make sure that we become who we can become in Bedford County. Mark Clanton delivered phenomenal support to our efforts with Tdot, and once again I will say the Shelbyville Bedford partnership, we bring value to the city and to the county infrastructure. Another example of bringing value. On November the 17th, the Shelbyville Bedford partnership went to Nashville to present on a competitive basis to the statewide panel. This panel decides state awards for local communities. On December the 21st, 4 days before Christmas, we got a wonderful Christmas present. Governor Lee and State Commissioner Rolfe from the Department of Economic and Community Development informed Bedford County that we will receive a maximum grant from the state in a site development grant. And I will repeat that because last year we had $100,000 of grant for our industrial park. This year, because of the efforts of a lot of people in this room, we were able to, in a competitive environment, receive a $1 million grant to make our industrial park more competitive. This grant represents the largest single grant for the 231 North Business Park in the history of that park, $1 million. We bring value to the city and county in its infrastructure. We are currently, and this is the piece that a lot of people will want to know about, we are currently working on more than 15 projects totaling right under $500 million in capital investment. Why is capital investment important? If you'll get with Ms. Rhonda Clanton, she can explain to you what each $1 million of capital investment means by way of revenue coming to this county, revenue that we provide services to the citizens of Bedford County with. In that 15 projects, there's a little over 1,000 additional jobs for Shelbyville and Bedford. I have people all the time ask me, Shane, if we brought all those jobs in here, who's going to work them? Okay? Let me go ahead and address that because that's something very important that everybody in this room needs to understand. When we bring new jobs here, we're bringing jobs to Bedford and we're bringing in people who are willing to work. Because from a 30-minute drive time from our industrial park, there's 223,000 people. That's why we bring in new jobs. Bringing in people that are willing to work, that want to hold a job, that want to provide for their family. A 45-minute drive time from that park is 556,000 people willing to work. An hour's drive time from our industrial park gives you 1.3 million people to choose from. That's where we get our workforce from. That's the people that we bring to Bedford, give them a job, they buy houses, Register of Deeds registered, gives them they buy a new house, they get a new deed. Everything that you've heard here today blossoms from bringing in jobs. I'll close with our future directions. The partnership will continue to add value to industries and this county. We will continue to execute at a high level. We will build the partnership for sustainability. We will bring jobs and capital investment into the industrial park. We will recruit restaurants, hotels, and grocers to enhance our quality of place. We will continue to build a competitive industrial park. We will work towards our first spec building in the industrial park. It will take private investment to do that, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to get that done. We will increase our marketing of Bedford County. It's not enough for us to sit back and wait on projects to come to us. We need to have a plan in place where we go out and we find our own jobs and we find our own factories and we bring them here on our own. Because every time we wait on Tennessee ECD, every time we wait on TVA, they're bringing that same project to everybody around us. And it becomes very, very, very competitive. The recruitment of new industries is a very competitive business. It's competitive at the local level, it's competitive at the state level, and it's competitive at the national level. And we will continue to build relationships with internal as well as external developers to get where we want to be. And at this time, I want to say thank you to some folks because I can't do this by myself. As I've already recognized Kelly and Beth, I will tell you the number of times that I've had to go to Tanya Davis and ask for information, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you. So thank you to Tanya Davis in the trustee's office. Thank you to Johnny Reed for his help in the Register of Deeds office. Thank you to Rhonda Clanton in the tax assessor's office, because without these folks, I couldn't pull together the necessary information to make sure that we can be competitive moving forward. Thank you once again to the Bedford County Fire Department. You guys have absolutely no idea how important what you did. One of these days, probably in the next couple of months, you will see me and I will tell you exactly how important what you did was, because it was important. It made a big difference that day. I want to say thank you to the Bedford County Board of Commissioners here. Thank you to you all. Thank you to the City of Shelbyville, City Council. Thank you to the Bedford County citizens. Me and my family were welcomed here, and I appreciate each and every person that has helped us along the way. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Mayor Chad Graham. Without his efforts, I can assure you that a lot of what you've seen today would not be possible. Mayor Graham has walked in the hot sun. He has ridden in buggies bouncing us around. He has sat in meetings. He has been there every step of the way, and I appreciate him for his efforts. So thank you to each and every one of you for putting us in a more competitive environment.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hooper. Okay, we do have two more items under other business. The next item is the receipt of the Bedford County Highway Department's personnel policy. It was added to the agenda by Commissioners Linda Yockey and Sylvia Pinson.
Motion approved.
Second.
Is there any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The next item is approval of contract for watch guard. It was added to the agenda by Commissioners Greg Vick and Jason Sanders.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, is there any questions or discussion?
One question, Robert, you handle all these contracts, everything good on those?
I'm not sure.
This is a contract for body cameras, and we've been working on it for months, and that's what it's about.
Who was the second to that motion? Who seconded?
Jason.
Okay, Jason did. No fair. Okay, I believe we've caught up with the paperwork here.
I've got one announcement.
Okay, we will have a couple of announcements. Have we asked for the vote? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, I have an announcement too. I think county attorney has one as well. As I mentioned in the Rules Standing Committee, we need to file our statement of interest. We have to file that with the Tennessee Ethics Commission by the end of this month. So if you haven't done so, you need to do so. That has to be done by the 31st. Okay, County Mayor.
That was
Attorney.
my announcement as well, the conflict of interest. That's what you were talking about.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that's the same announcement. Okay, we do want to thank Leadership Bedford. The class is here. There's several of them here. We appreciate all of everyone being interested in local government. It's good to have young people that's following up and interested in local government. Of course, this is county government. The city and the city council also has meetings as well, and you need to get involved there. But it's very important. This is grassroots political right here. It's local government that matters. It's one of the most important meetings. The city council and the county commissions. It goes across any meeting through this state or any state in this country. So thank you for Leadership Bedford class being represented here. We appreciate it. Are there any other announcements? I have one more that County Mayor Graham has asked me to read. It says, "Dear County Commission, words cannot express my family's profound gratitude for your support during such a difficult time. Denise loved the community she served and would be honored to know that you were here for her family. May God continue to bless this body and our county. Chad, Darrell, and Nikita." So our thoughts and prayers are still with the Graham family. Any other announcements? Okay, yes.
I was passing around an envelope just for some money, but it didn't get very far. So,
it needs to go that way, I think.
But anyway, you'll see it as it comes by you. So if you, those of you on the end down there, if you just wait a second and put some money in.
Okay, any other announcements? Is there a motion to adjourn? Second? Okay, all right. Meeting adjourned. Wow.